If you are new to Disneyland Paris, or you just haven't been in a number of years, or you're just looking for a couple of refresher tips, coming up over my next 2 videos, I'm going to help you make the most out of your trip and ensure that you don't miss out on anything. Stay on site at one of the Disneyland Paris hotels. As one of the most beautiful parks, it makes total sense to stay on property to remain within the Disney bubble and to be able to soak up all of that splendour. The on-site hotels at Disneyland Paris are incredibly well themed. There's Santa Fe, that is themed to cars, Hotel Cheyenne, which has a western and cowboy theme, Sequoia Lodge, which has a woodland, log cabin, Bambi theme, Newport Bay, which is nautically themed, the Art of Marvel Hotel, which, as the name suggests, is themed around the incredible artwork with Marvel, the Disneyland Paris Hotel, which has recently reopened and is beautifully themed around all things royal and regal. Disneyland Paris also has one off-site hotel, or rather ranch, that is roughly about a 10-minute drive from the parks, and that's the Davy Crockett Ranch. The ranch is themed to Davy Crockett and Chip and Dale, who pop up here and there in beautiful topiaries. Not only are the Disneyland Paris hotels so well themed, but they are also super convenient. All of the hotels, with the exception of the Davy Crockett Ranch, are within walking distance to the parks. Or if you didn't fancy doing the short walk, there is a complimentary shuttle service, which at times can get a little bit busy. But honestly, the walks to and from the hotels aren't that far at all, and are quite nice to do. Now for me, one of the best things about staying on site is that you get access to extra magic hour. And this does also include if you're staying at the Davy Crockett Ranch. Extra magic hour gives you access to both parks for 1 whole hour before general day ticket guest holders are allowed to enter the parks. And believe me, you can get so much done within that first hour, with majority of the rides having only a 5 or 10 minute wait, which is basically a walk on. So take advantage of that, because the queues definitely won't be that short for the rest of the day. You are also able to meet Stitch during Extra Magic Hour, and he's located at the end of Main Street next to Casey's Corner. And Stitch is the only character that does meet and greets during Extra Magic Hour. And as you enter the parks, don't forget to look back and up at the railway, as Mickey and sometimes Minnie are there to welcome you to the parks, and a great way to start your day. Something that is always the hot topic of conversation when booking your trip to Disneyland Paris is that you do need to make those advanced restaurant reservations. For those guests that are staying on site at Disneyland Paris, you're able to make your bookings 12 months out from your trip. And still, those extremely popular restaurants, such as the Downtown restaurant in the Art of Marvel Hotel, Captain Jack's in the main park, and Bistro Chez Remy in the Walt Disney Studios Park, get snapped up extremely quickly. Something worth noting is that restaurant reservations are not just for dining options within the parks. You are also able to make your dining reservations for restaurants within the Disney Village and other hotels, regardless of whether you are staying in that hotel or not. There is of course the exception of the Disneyland Paris Hotel, and if you wish to dine in Lumiere's, you must be a guest at that hotel. So start making a list of places that you would like to dine, or if you're watching now and you're going next week, don't panic. Keep an eye on the Disneyland Paris app for any cancellations that may come up, or call Disneyland Paris directly, as they may be able to help. There are also other popular restaurants that don't require any reservations at all, and a few are Casey's Corner at the end of Main Street in the main park, Rainforest Cafe and Annette's Diner, which are both located in the Disney Village. So start making those reservations now so that you don't miss out. Try all the food. This has to be up there in the top tips I recommend for people who are going to Disneyland Paris for the first time. There are so many great options for places to eat and things to try. Firstly, you have the quick service restaurants that have your standard quick eats from burgers, nuggets and chips, for example. A favourite for us when it comes to quick service restaurants is the Stark Factory over in the Avengers campus in the Walt Disney Studios Park. The quick service food here comprises of mainly pizza and pasta dishes. The theming of this quick service restaurant is incredible, and don't forget to grab your selfie with the Hulkbuster, which is located at the front of the restaurant. Another fantastic quick service restaurant is Casey's Corner, located at the end of Main Street, This quick service restaurant is best known for their hot dogs, and they also have really generous serving sizes. A little hidden gem here would be Casey's Corner's sweet treat, named Baseball Ball or Ball de Baseball. This sweet treat looks just like a baseball, as the name suggests, but it's actually made up with a vanilla mousse and ice cream outer shell, which once you dig into it reveals a core of delicious salted caramel. So if you have room after that enormous hot dog meal, definitely give this sweet treat a go. If you're looking for a sit-down meal, which is totally immersive with theming, then Bistro Chez Remy is your place. Themed to the movie Ratatouille, you will be shrunk down to the size of a rat to enjoy your meal. A nice touch to your meal here is that each meal is served with a side of, you guessed it, ratatouille. If you would prefer a buffet-style restaurant, then downtown in the Art of Marble Hotel always comes highly recommended. You're able to dine in this restaurant even if you're not staying in this epic hotel, and the buffet has a good selection of food to choose from. Also, don't forget to save room for those Avenger-themed desserts. After dinner, and you think that you would like a sweet treat, then the macarons at Disneyland Paris are the best, and something that I am never able to resist. If you have visited any of the other Disney parks, then you will recognise some of your favourite attractions. Or if this is your first Disney trip, just know that there are some distinctly different flairs to certain rides at Disneyland Paris. A few of these are Phantom Manor, otherwise known as the Haunted Mansion in the US parks. Phantom Manor is actually located in a different area of the park at Disneyland Paris and is located in Frontierland, overlooking Big Thunder Mountain. And that's not the only difference. The majority of the ride remains the same and very similar to the other haunted mansions across the other parks. But due to its location within Disneyland Paris, the last section of the ride is dedicated to a more Western or cowboy theme. No other Phantom Manor or Haunted Mansion has this, and I personally really love this addition to the end of the ride and makes it stand out from all of the others. Next up is Space Mountain. The ride itself is pretty much the same as other Space Mountains, but at Disneyland Paris, its actual name is Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain. This ride is themed to Star Wars, and from the recognisable epic score that builds excitement before the thrilling launch that launches you right into a battle between TIE fighters and X-Wings, is totally breathtaking, literally, and again, one of its kind. Then there's one for the whole family. Slinky Dog Zigzag Spin is Disneyland Paris's version of Walt Disney World's Slinky Dog Dash. The Disneyland Paris version is much smaller and a lot slower, but still so much fun to do. A nice mini roller coaster for all the family to enjoy. Now, not only does Disneyland Paris have their own version to some of the classic rides, but it also has some attractions and experiences that are unique to Disneyland Paris. The main one that many guests make a mad dash for as soon as they enter the parks is Crush's Coaster in the Walt Disney Studios Park. Be prepared to queue for this ride as it is extremely popular. You will hop into a sea turtle shell and be whisked and twirled around a white knuckle ride. Just remember to smile to the other guests as you whiz by on the outdoor section of this ride. If you're looking for something a little less white knuckle and a little more fun, then Alice's Curious Labyrinth, located in Fantasyland, could be for you. Don't get too lost as you make your way around the maze towards the Queen of Hearts castle and spot characters from the classic Alice in Wonderland along the way. It's also a really nice thing to do to get away from the hustle and bustle of the busy parks. And if you make your way to the top of the Queen's Castle, this provides an excellent spot to take some beautiful photos of stunning Fantasyland. Another thing that is totally unique to Disneyland Paris is Sleeping Beauty's castle. As striking as it is, did you know that you can go upstairs within the castle and see the story of Sleeping Beauty portrayed in stunning paintings, magical tapestries and glimmering stained glass? Take your time as you walk around to really let it all sink in. Then downstairs there are two shops. A Christmas shop where you're able to purchase Disney Christmas decorations. Opposite the Christmas shop is a glass shop. You're able to buy some stunning Disney jewellery from here. And being the magpie that I am, I could spend so long in this shop just admiring all those sparkles. This is also the shop where you can buy and have made a beautiful handmade glass wand that is filled with coloured crystals of your choosing. And probably the best part is underneath the castle and not something to be missed. And that is the dragon. Make sure to stand and watch it come to life, but be careful not to upset it. Please don't overlook the shows and parades. The shows at Disneyland Paris are fantastic and do incorporate French and English. But within the French-speaking sections, people who do not speak French can easily follow along. All of the shows are completely free, but there are 3 shows where you're able to buy guaranteed access, which enables you to book guaranteed seats for your group for these 3 shows. The 3 shows that you can buy guaranteed access for are The Lion King, Rhythm of the Pride Lands, Mickey and the Magician, and Together, a Pixar musical adventure. Priced at $13.63 for both adults and children, you will have your seat secured and won't have to hop in line until 5 or 10 minutes from the start of the show. You don't have to pay, however. You can just hop in line for these 3 shows about 20 or 30 minutes out from the start. This doesn't guarantee that you will get in, but 20 or 30 minutes is usually okay. Over the past 2 years, Disneyland Paris has been celebrating its 30th anniversary, and Disneyland Paris really excelled with the Dream and Shine Brighter Day Show. That was a perfect combination of a parade and castle stage show. This show really took off and will forever live in the hearts of Disney fans who were lucky enough to experience it. Don't worry if you missed this incredible show, because running between the 10th of February and late September this year, a million splashes of colour will take the space of the daytime shows, featuring the main mouse himself, Mirabelle, Timon and many more. This new all dancing, all singing, all colourful daytime extravaganza bursting with beloved stories and cherished Disney tunes promises to be the show to see when you're at Disneyland Paris. Again, for 2024, a new drone show has been added called Disney Electric Sky Parade, which features dancing drones above Sleeping Beauty's castle and showcases some much-loved classics from that famous Electric Light Parade. After you've watched the drone show, make sure to stay and watch Disney Dreams. This fan favourite was brought back to the parks and is truly a wonderful firework and light display, featuring Peter Pan's shadow that leads you through beloved Disney classic stories. Make time to simply enjoy the resort. Take some time to just walk around the parks and really take it all in. There are so many small details that can be easily overlooked and missed as you rush around enjoying your time in the parks. The main park is known for its immersive beauty, unique architecture and design details. For example, did you know that there are so many different background sounds that are played up and down Main Street? If you look up above the shops, you will see a few surprises, such as the dentist. So if you spot it along Main Street, make sure to stop and listen, and you will hear sounds that you would expect to hear from a normal dentist. The sound of the drill always makes me chuckle. Take your time to really explore Sleeping Beauty's castle, but also look out for those small details such as the golden snails on the top of the towers. This is a really subtle nod to the country that you're in. There's also the exquisite stained glass, as I mentioned previously, upstairs in the castle. And whilst up there, take a walk outside and get another beautiful and different view of Fantasyland. The castle itself is stunning, and thanks to those clever Disney Imagineers who knew that they had to make this castle even more striking, as France is peppered with beautiful castles and chateaux, and they knew they had to make this one even more special. Painted in brighter colours than other Disney castles to help it stand out against more often than not cloudy skies. And it truly does stand out. And then there's the surroundings to the castle that make it look like it has been plucked out from a scene within Sleeping Beauty and placed in the park, with all of the beautiful landscaping, fountains, and of course, those iconic square trees, all tied together to make Sleeping Beauty's castle at Disneyland Paris the most beautiful of them all. Make sure to check back in for part 2 of this video, and I will do my best to give you the best tips I can to enable you to make the most out of your first trip to Disneyland Paris. If you did find this video useful, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. And I'll see you again soon.